Hey guys, what's up? It's Curtis. Hey, so definitely check out my other videos on YouTube. Follow me on Twitter at Disciple Curtis. And just remember, just like a church service that you feel like you don't necessarily need it at a time, make sure you guys like and share this video because it could definitely benefit somebody else. So the question this morning is, what is a blessing? Alright, so in my devotion this morning, I was looking and Proverbs 10:22 gave me a great definition for what a blessing is. And it says, the blessing of the Lord makes a person rich, and he adds no sorrow to it. Right? So what does that mean? Well, when you think of rich, what automatically comes to your mind? We think of finances, right? We think of the Lord can bless you with this and bless you with this amount of money. Yes, he can, but rich also means other things. What about knowledge? What about wisdom? God can give you the wisdom to make wise choices, wise decisions. He can give you that intelligence so we can be rich in our minds. What about the family that you come home to? The husband, the wife, the children that love you when you come home, even your dog or your cat that loves you when you come home. He can make your family life rich. And what about your job? God can maybe give you that position that you want, that job that you want. He can even remove people away that's bringing you down at work to make your job rich. So rich is more than just finances. Open up and expand your mind. Rich is every part of life. Now, the second part of this verse says that he adds no sorrow to it. So let me tell you what a blessing is not. A blessing isn't the car outside that you're trying to pay for, right? Because that's not a blessing from God. A lot of people's like, oh, I got this great car, thank you, Lord. But the second part of this verse says he adds no sorrow to it. So if you're figuring out how you're going to pay for that car, that wasn't a choice from God. That was a choice from you. And once you realize that, we can make better judgment calls and realize blessings for what they are. Even rappers talking about, hey, I want to thank God for all this stuff that I got. I want to thank God for all this music and the stuff that he put in my mind so I can do this. No, that's not God. That's you. God didn't say talk about the woman shaking her butt in the club. God didn't say, you know, talk about these guns that you shoot and have little kids going out getting guns trying to be like you. That's not God, right? And the Bible talks about the darkness that we think is light, and it says if we think the darkness is actually light, oh how that darkness will be. So that's the enemy trying to deceive you, and it's not a blessing, right? So another part I want to really kind of harp on here is the invisible blessing, and this is what that means. So when I started tithing, it was really difficult. It was tough because I was like, God, you want 10%? Like, I'm coming up short 20% each paycheck, but you want 10% from me, right? So he put me on what I like to call the invisible blessing, and those are the blessings that you can't see. So you may think, God, you haven't been blessing me. I've been praying for money. I've been praying for this and praying for that. Well, what about that oil change? What about that oil change that you are miles and miles behind on, but your engine is still running just fine? Your engine hasn't messed up. God has kept you from having to shell out thousands of dollars or hundreds of dollars or however much for an engine, but you don't see that. All you see is that you don't see that he's giving you something, but he's kept you from something. What about all the girls that you've been sleeping with? What about all of those girls that you haven't caught something from, that you haven't been using protection, but you're still walking around just fine? That's a blessing in itself. What about the guy that slipped up, maybe the condom busted, maybe something happened, but you're still not pregnant? All those are blessings. All of those are stuff that God has kept you from, right? So those are what I like to call the invisible blessings. So don't just think that blessings are something that you can visually see or verbally hear or touch and attain. These are things that God has kept you from because he loves you, right? So the biggest takeaways from this is that a true blessing isn't something that God gives you and brings sorrow your way. It's something that he gives you, and you don't need to add anything to it because it's him giving you this blessing. It's him giving it to you, saying, hey, this is what I want you to have. It takes no part from you. It takes nothing from you. This is just for you because I love you. That's what a blessing truly is. And obedience and a sacrifice of your mind, your money, and your personal things shows God that you're ready for the blessings that he is ready to offer you. So I hope you guys take this and you run with it. Realize the blessings are coming your way no matter what. Prepare yourself for them. Love God and know that he's got you. And if God is for us, who could be against us? Love you guys.